Hello and welcome to another episode of Scott Reads Comics. Today I'm going to cover a real gem, something I should have gotten to a long time ago on the show, but here we are. It's issue 1 of Hercules, Prince of Power, published in 1982 by Marvel Comics. Someone in the comments of one of my other videos brought this up, the idea of me covering this limited series. And in fact, I had been thinking about it, but then it got pushed aside by other things that caught my eye. This is, in my humble opinion, the greatest thing Bob Layton has ever done in comics. And this is definitely a Bob Layton production. He is the writer and artist. It's a gorgeous Bob Layton cover here on this direct edition of Hercules, Prince of Power #1. Let's check it out. And we can see conceived and executed by Bob Layton, writer-artist, Rick Parker, letterer, Christy Shear, colorist, Mark Grunwald, editor, Jim Shooter, editor-in-chief. And what fools these mortals be, or I should say, what fools these immortals be, is our title. There is a mountain no mortal eye can see, a mountain no mortal limbs can climb. It is the timeless home of a race of godlike beings who long ago roamed the earth and dabbled in the affairs of mankind. It is Mount Olympus, home of the immortal gods of ancient Greece. On this day, after years of wandering and adventure upon the world of men, one of their number returns home. He is the son of Zeus, high father of the gods. He is a rogue, a hero, an avenger. Throughout the ages, he has been known as Hercules, Prince of Power. So Hercules gets home and immediately encounters what looks like an ogre. Jester not so menacingly silent one. Yellow-crested titans are but fodder for the fists of Hercules. Move aside, guardian, to the gates of Olympus, and I shall spare thee. Then again, why should I deny thee the honor of being bested by the Prince of Power? Is not the joy of battle the gift to those of immortal stature? So, have at thee then. Wham! So, right away, we get some cool action here with Herc battling this Titan character. But then their battle is interrupted by these guards. Cease, Olympian, by order of Lord Zeus himself. You have returned on a most solemn occasion, Prince. It is the day of reflective silence, the time in which we honor the birth of Father Zeus. The Golden One sought only to halt thy wagging tongue. Thou must go at once to thy quarters and pay silent homage to thy father. So, a bit bemused, Hercules acquiesces. In truth, 'tis a poor homecoming for the Lion of Olympus. Come the morrow, I must show yonder guards the need of proper respect. I shall bestow upon them the gift. And this will be a theme throughout this limited series, this idea of the gift of battle that Hercules enjoys so much, and him bestowing it upon people, which means basically him clobbering them. So he's bored out of his mind, and these nubile serving girls come to give him refreshment. Indeed, fair maidens, you are welcome guests in the abode of Hercules. And as night falls on solemn Olympus, the reflective silence that ruled the day is disrupted when a resounding crash by my sacred throne. Who dares violate the meditations of Zeus? So he goes to look himself and finds Hercules at play. Greetings, Father. Lord Zeus. Sorry for the clamor, Father. It seems the wine jug slipped from the maiden's grasp, and we are not amused. Thou hast violated the will of Zeus. Although thou art my son, thou shalt pay for thy disrespect. From the day thy mortal mother gave birth to thee, thy impudence has grown until it has become insufferable. I hereby banish thee from the gates of Olympus till such time I discern thou hast learned the lesson of true humility. I beg forgiveness, High Father. I accept the judgment of Zeus as the word and the way. But I beg to know, how long must I dwell on earth before thy decision is? Earth! I mention nothing of earth. Upon the earth of mortals, thou art truly a god to be humbled by none. But yonder, in the vastness of the universe, among the myriad stars, thou art a puny creature. Father, Enough. The Lord hath spoken. Remove thyself to thy quarters. At dawn, stand for the courtyard of Zeus to begin thy exile. I, Lord Zeus. Hercules, why dost thou stand there, arms outstretched thus? I await the thunderbolts of Zeus to transport me to mine exile. So this is Apollo who approaches Hercules. No, old friend, that will not be thy means of transportation. Thy father hath charged me to bestow upon thee my chariot, to carry thee to the stars by its magical power. So now we get another great addition to this series, the chariot with the horses. It's super cool, and this has kind of been a Marvel thing, and they did it a lot with the Asgardians, blending the idea of magic and science. So this really, even though Hercules is a central character, is sort of a Marvel space sci-fi series, kind of in the tradition of Guardians of the Galaxy. But it is, of course, dressed in the trappings of magical gods like Hercules. Behold, Prince, the sun chariot of Apollo. By the gods, 'tis magnificent indeed. The Prince of Power is touched by thy sacrifice, Apollo. May I do honor by it. Worry not. Merely feed the steeds occasionally, and give wide berth to all supernovas. Otherwise, they'll singe thy hair clean off. Fare thee well, son of Zeus. And fare thee well, glorious Olympus. I wonder when I shall tread thy hallowed ground again. So awesome panel here showing Hercules taking to the stars. Bathed in a miasma of light and color, the enchanted chariot warps out of the dimension of Olympus, out of the Milky Way galaxy itself. The Andromeda Galaxy, a swirling cluster of brilliant, comprised of over 1 billion stars, with countless civilized worlds revolving around them. So here, Hercules encounters the Rigelians, an alien race. And another thing I should stop quickly and talk with this series is the comedy. Like, Leighton is a fantastic artist, but he's a gifted writer, and the comedy is easy. It's not forced, and it really is truly a great mix of action and comedy. Commissioner Ronhan, Telescan detects a vehicle coming out of hyperspace in Sector 2F. We are receiving a request for docking procedures. Forsooth, I wish to land. Open thy docking bay. Scansman, decrease the volume of the telescan. It is needlessly loud. That's the problem, sir. The message is not coming in on the telescan. It's reverberating throughout the ship. At that moment, outside the ship, hail ye, Prince of Power approaches. By the horn of Zeus, through which I speak, open thy docking bay doors. There it is again, Commissioner. What should we do? How should I know? Open the bay doors and let's see what it is. Hercules bids thee greetings, wayfarers. Salutations from the son of mighty Zeus. Devils from space, run, Wipo. Please don't devour us. I give thee thanks for thy hospitality. My sojourn has been long and wearisome. Greetings to you, Hercules. I am Sub-Commissioner Rohin of the Rigelian fleet. In the name of our people, I bid you welcome to break your journey and refresh yourself. How does that thing fly, Wipo? I don't care, Posu, as long as it doesn't eat Rigelians. So Hercules is befriended by the Rigelians, which is great. So now you are exiled to the room, the stars, a simply fantastic tale. We must make it in addition to our recorder's library. Perhaps you would even consider continuing your journey with us. Alas, no. In truth, I long for the ebullient madness of wine and song to soothe my troubled brow. Thy people have no use for such pursuits. I fear we are correct. We exist only to learn, document, and colonize. Our ways differ greatly from yours. No matter. Consider my quarters your own. We shall bid you farewell after you have completed your sleep mode. Great panel here. And Hercules settles back for the night in the blank, artless chambers, finding them somewhat reminiscent of his own Olympus. She's boring, crunch. So he sits on this, and I think according to the Handbook of the Marvel Universe, Hercules weighs like 425 pounds because he's a super dense Olympian with incredible resistance to injury. So it would make sense that their furniture is inadequate to his needs. So thine officer did attempt to feed my steeds. No need for concern. Our surgical staff informs us that the arm can be easily reattached. But on other matters, we would like you to grant us a request. A request? You may voice thy petition. This is a recorder unit. Its function is to analyze and store all information within its scanning range. We would like it to accompany you to record your journeys. So now we have basically the second member of what's going to become a comedic duo in this 4-issue limited series, and it's the Recorder. And he is one of many recorders, certainly probably not the same one who was with the Watcher in X-Men 137, but he looks the same, and he's sort of kind of the straight man to Hercules' comedic role. I accept thy offer. Thou art in the charge of Hercules from this moment forth. What say thee, friend Recorder? Observation, I believe that your bodily contact is rattling my chips, sir. So they go off. Interrogative, sir. What allows us to exist in this craft without life support? Why, it is the will of Zeus. What else? Conclusion, of course. So they arrive on a new planet, and of course they have to try to find hostelry for the chariot and the horses. What did you say, small one? You heard me, Muscles. Which end of these things do I stick the fuel hose into? So I'm sure that's going to go well. Later on the avenues of Star Harbor, mayhaps I should have issued a sterner warning. They be beasts of great power and not to be handled by mere mortals. Interrogative. The will of Zeus, correct? Of course. At last, to enjoy the sounds of merriment and the adoration of the fairer sex. Interrogative. What is fairer sex? Women! Civilizations fall, fortunes are lost, armies are conquered, all for the touch of their delicate hands. Interrogative. Perhaps I should wait outside? Nonsense. Pleasures await us within yonder inn. Enter thee. So, of course, we get a great panel here showing us a sci-fi star bar, a cantina, if you will. So they're getting a room here. A short time later, after settling in, I understand not, friend Recorder. How dost thou obtain our lodgings? Statement. I simply informed the unit that you were an ambassador of the Regellian Empire and to charge all expenses to them. If that be the case, let us peruse the establishment's bill of fare. What'll it be, handsome? A flagon of thy best ale, fair one. And what of you, Recorder? Statement. I believe my fluid systems will imbibe a beryllium gear slipper 30 weight, please. So, next page here sets up another action scene as this Starliner carrying some colonists goes into a deathly re-entry into the planet's orbit. So that's kind of an interlude. So we're going to get to that in a few pages. Next up here we have Hercules is showing off, and then he sees this incredibly large alien. So, what in Hera's name is that? That is a Farragut, Prince. They come from Arago 7, a heavy gravity world. Their dense molecular structure makes them the strongest creatures in the galaxy. Strongest creature in the galaxy. What joy leaps into my noble heart. At long last, I found one sturdy enough to receive the gift. No, wait, you don't understand. Zeus has smiled upon thee this day, large one. Thou shalt pit thy power against the lion of Olympus. What is this you are saying? Hercules doth exclaim, Have at thee! What be this? Ouch, boo-hoo! Why did you hit me? What did I do to make you hate me? So Hercules is looking pretty bad in this moment because these guys are pacifists. And he laid one on him without figuring that out first. I did not know. I sought only amusement. I pray thee. Fly it up your exhaust port, buddy. Yeah, and the ship you rode in on. Go on. Just leave the poor creature in peace, you bully. Interrogative. Did I miss something? Love this open panel here. Aye, methinks mine exile doth have some justification. I thought not on yon Farragut, only myself and the adoration of those around. Hold! What doth this clarion call signify? Someone explain. Run for the shelters, you, green one. Why doth everyone flee thus? It's a disaster warning. It means a starship is crash landing. We could all go up in flames. So there is indeed a disaster taking place outside, and Hercules is going to intervene as only he can. There's no time to tarry. Those within yonder craft are in need of the son of Zeus. Look, fella, we'll lose this entire area unless... Hey, where are you going? To rescue, of course. Of course. So, awesome here. We can see Hercules flexing his incredible power. He does, of course, possess Class 100 strength according to the official handbook of the Marvel Universe. Without hesitation, Hercules springs through the flames to reach the passenger section of the disabled craft. He wedges his sinewy fingers between the earth and the massive bulk of the ship. Then, with a single thrust of his mighty shoulders, he lifts. What is happening is a sight that leaves those distantly watching awestruck by the great nebula. Bearing the crushing mass high above his head, the Olympian plods away from the burning wreckage. Foot by arduous foot, he treads in an effort that could be described as Herculean. Nice try, buddy. But then when that fuel tank blows, we're all going to get fried. What? Explain thyself. That ship was fueled by a highly explosive Oxy-17 compound. When the storage tanks on that ship rupture, it will leave a hole the size of a small moon. Then the Prince of Power must make haste if we are to survive. So, what are you pulling that towing cable out of the wreckage for? Observation. By my calculations, there's a 39.46 seconds before the main tank erupts. I pray then that be enough time. So Hercules affixes the tow cable to the part of the vessel that's threatening to explode, and in an amazing sequence on this page, he gets rid of it. Like an ancient Greek athlete, throwing the hammer, Hercules swings the blazing vessel around at an unbelievable speed. And with a powerful toss, he releases the cable, sending the Pedalo crest on her final voyage, miles above the planet's surface. The thunderous sound of the explosion fades as the cheers of the adoring throngs swell, and within the pride-filled heart of the son of Zeus, their acknowledgement signifies forgiveness. So later on, during the celebration, Hercules is bumped by this brawny alien. Oops, sorry, matey. You dare accost the son of Zeus? You shall pay for your impudence, large one. Look, mate, I be sorry. It was an accident. Thou shalt learn a valuable lesson this day. The Prince of Power is about to bestow upon you the gift. Stand thy ground and have at thee, aye, nay. What be that all about? So, in the end, our wayward God maybe learns a lesson or begins to learn a lesson. And before we finish up, quickly going to flip back a page because in the Bullpen Bulletins, Hercules Limited Series, issue 1, the one we're reading, is highlighted, but we get this great little comic strip drawn by Bob Layton himself. Hi, I'm Babyface Bob Layton. I'm a writer and artist. Most people know me from my stint as the inker of Iron Man. I'm here because lately, on this page, Big Jim has made some unflattering comments about me. No big deal. We are old friends, after all, and I can take a joke. But I want to make it perfectly clear that I have no association with or interest in any nuclear terrorist clone organizations. Also, even though I did once live near 3 Mile Island, I am definitely not a radioactive mutant. All clear? Well then, good night all. Drat. So, pretty funny inside baseball strip there drawn by Layton. Again, showing his gift for humor. Really cool. So yeah, that was Hercules #1. I think I'm going to do all 4 issues. I may do them in groups, maybe two and 3 together and then 4 by itself. We'll see how it goes. I picked these up in the dollar bins over the last couple of years. They're readily available in most dollar bins. They're totally awesome. There's a second 4-issue limited series that I will probably do as well. And there's also a graphic novel that I'd like to do. But that'll be it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like and subscribe. Tell your friends. I'll bring you more soon on Scott Reads Comics. Thanks for watching.